guys, welcome back to some more Raid Shadow Legends. Today's video, we're going to be looking at building our next 6-star and showing you exactly how we do this. Now, over in the Guardian Ring, I have this maxed out in the entirety. You can see all of these slots are open. We didn't get the extra levels because it has a tendency to go way too fast to build them, but having and being able to build up these champions in a regular basis. And you'll also notice that we have 5 4-star champions in here. 4 stars being maxed out in the entirety. When they hit that level 40, we can go ahead and feed them some food, getting the 5 stars, and ultimately taking the 5 stars to the 6 stars. Now, the only time that I recommend doing this is when we have something in regard to champion training. So out of this, I wait. I've been saving those 2s, those 3, those 4s, building them up little by little, but making sure that you're maximizing what you're getting out of all of the champion training, all the tournaments, all of the events, everything else, making sure, again, that you are getting the most and really the most bang for your buck. When you start looking at, getting some extra summons out of here, getting some extra gems, getting some extra stones, absolutely want to focus on this and focus on it, again, very, very specifically when we're only looking at doing events in its entirety. So looking in here, like I was saying earlier, we have these level 40 champions. Want to make sure show only upgradable. So we're going to come down here. Now there are a lot of the ones in here that are at level 18. This was due to what we had in the last tournament that we had, or the leveling them up to 18 to build this up. We actually scored and got all of the rewards out of last tournament by getting them to 18, because leveling level 4 or 4-star champions up to 18 really does make a difference. Now, these are going to take them back to 1, which is exactly what we want to do. So looking even a couple of these, we did build up a little bit further, and that was just really through regular gameplay. But even thinking of a couple, so looking at like a Fellhound, even looking right here, there are a lot of champions that we still have in here that we're using for food because we farm 12-3. When you start looking at, the Fellhound and a couple other of your champions itself, we are going to get them, and we do get them over and over and over again. That's why Diabolist, we have a bunch of copies of. We also have some that are in the vault, and the same with a few other ones where we can get the copies that we need of them, and ultimately going to make a big difference to building those up. 2 stars going to 3 stars. The 3 stars, of course, ending up being food, just like down here, getting and building up to these 4 stars based on what we have. Now, like I said, right here with the Diabolus and a couple other ones, I know they're eligible for fusion, but between farming, we get a lot of copies of them. I know we could save them, but I want to make sure that we're getting, and you can see, guys, we already have 2 right here, 1 right here, and then also with that Fellhound, we have the exact same, building them up kind of little by little. Now, I was on kind of the fence on who we were going to build, if in honestly going back through a different couple champions that we'll look at in just a minute, of exactly who we were planning to build, what exactly it was going to look like. You can see we have a couple 40s again that are in here that we're building them up little by little. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us another 5 and 100 tournament points out of every single time that we're doing this. Now, of course, when you think the first 2 rows, really, those are ones that we're saving. This is another one with a Hound Spawn that I'll go ahead. We'll use some of these resources in here. You can fuse with another champion. We have a couple of these as well as we continue to farm it out, but there we go. So there is another 5. Now, a lot of players have said to build out and use a Lanreal to build out this champion a lot further. I'm kind of on the fence because I also do have Torgi, and I do have a couple other ones that I want to kind of run through and get your opinion on. So looking in here, we already have 4 6-star champions, but we also do have Hugo. We also do have Deacon, which makes a really big difference, getting a strong support in here since we do have a lot of damage dealers. Now, this one, again, was one that a lot of players were saying to build up just because of the ability to do a lot more damage. Now, I also thought of Taragi the Frog because a lot of players are saying, again, that this is super, super broken when it comes to building them up. When it comes in relationship to bosses, specifically the clan boss, works incredibly well. The exact same thing with High Katoon. We could build her up a little bit further with what we have. We have some 5-star food in here, and a lot of the other ones down here, we're just kind of waiting. So where we've kind of gotten stuck is we're still looking, and I haven't really focused on it quite a bit, to fuse the Justicar. We need 1 more champion to actually fuse up the Justicar. We have all 3 of these. We just need to get this Harris. We need to get this 1 copy of Harris in there, add up to 3 stars. All the rest of those 3 are built in the entirety. And then we almost do have this champion built up as well. Now, these are free to play. These are farmable champions that you don't have to worry about the summons. And honestly, when it comes to summons, guys, we have 444, we have 16. I have 2 primal shards, 2 sacred shards. We're just saving those because I like this, guys. 40 summons will give you a guaranteed champion. If I had 40 ancient shards, I would absolutely do it to get that champion. Looking at getting a free epic champion seems like it would be well worth it. But looking at this hero, seems like it's a lot of arena, a lot of the PvP aspect. Even looking at the skills and abilities that he possesses, seemed very solid when it comes to PvP. And then the other one in here is the headline champion, which you talk about a anime or an avatar that looks just absolutely crazy from the Sylvan Watchers. Absolutely love it. Now in here, I'm not a huge fan of this one. So increases the crit rating in battles by 25%. Most of your heroes, most of your damage dealers will have the crit rate all the way up to 100% already. You throw, a 6-star pair of gloves on there that has that 60 rate. Most of the time, this is already going to be done. Increases ally speed in all battles by 15%. Only applies to Sylvan Watchers. So if you are running an entire team of Sylvan Watchers, that could make a really big difference in here. Because again, I feel like the aura itself is not going to be a game changer. But you never know, because depending on, again, who you're kind of building on and who you're running in there, could really make a big difference. So I don't know who to build out. Again, I'm kind of on the fence because we built out Alice. You can see, again, we have these top 4 up to 60. And then continuing through here, I think out of the tournament, we should have gotten a couple more points. 1850 we need right here. We got a couple hundred. Yeah, 1551. So we're going to have to build them up a little bit further. And even looking at how many points it gives you, building up to a 6-star, you only get 300 points. So this is going to be a lot of building within here on a regular basis just to get them built up. Also, the Ascension rank makes a difference. And then the totems. So again, when it comes to building out champions, there is a very, very specific time to be using them. And I cannot stress that enough. It is something that I completely overlooked as a newer player to raid. How important that getting the tournaments, getting the events are in the entirety. Even the events, guys. Dungeon Diver, we've been focusing on this a little bit. Just farming out the heroes that we do have and leveling up our champions. Gear enhancement, I'm not worried about this. I am saving all of my gold right now, or all my silver, to make sure we can get to the point of being able to have, you can see we're just short of 2 million. They say to get about 25 million silver, and it'll be super easy to do a lot of these events. Same with getting energy, same with getting, some gems in there. That way, when it comes into building out a lot of different champions, you have the ability to. Now, same with Altered Souls. We went in here. We have a few that I have to build out. Even looking here at Torgi, I think we can build them up a little bit further. Let me check out where Torgi is, because I thought, yeah, we farmed up a couple of these. We can get a couple more tournament points, adding a lot more hit points. Now, remember, with this champion specifically, it is all about HP. That is what we want to build. We want the HP on here. We want to build them out with the HP. So there we go. There is the 3 stars. That is going to give us the ability to actually build it out a little bit further and add some more HP on here through these. So we have to get the ascended level to 5 and 6 to build this up a little bit further. And of course, I think this is who I'm going to 6-star. Again, let me know in the comments if this is the one that we should be looking at. I've been kind of on the fence because I've used him a couple different places and making sure that we have this HP built, giving him a couple scrolls in here. But I'm going to have to see exactly who we're building out and what makes sense within the account. Because without doing the summons and without doing them on a regular basis, it's incredibly difficult to get a lot of different champions in this game, especially when you start looking at Epic and Legendary. Just kind of waiting, buying my time for the 2x event to come up so we can start doing the summons. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what 6-star we should work on. And as always, thank you guys for watching.